Good morning. It is Monday, July 15th. Here's what we're working on. Reactions continue to pour in following the assassination attempt on former U.S. President Donald Trump.
LCBO, they scrap plans to open dozens of stores during the strike.
And one of the stars of Beverly Hills 90210 has died. Look who's back.
It's Brian
It's
Wood.
Brian. He's back. He's back.
I actually haven't seen Brian in a couple weeks because I was off.
Yeah,
you were off.
Yeah.
No,
wait a minute. I'm dreaming, and I'm at home in bed, and I'm sound asleep, and I'm going, I'm back on the air. No, is this real life? It is.
Yeah. Well, you do have clothes on, so that's good.
Yeah, that's one thing.
That's good. That's good.
That's yay. We're back at it. Yay. And it's Monday, and it's the middle of July.
Yes.
And I always think of that as being the middle of summer. I was just talking to Annette about this.
Yep.
June, July, and August to me are the summer months. So the middle of July, here we are.
You know what that means?
What does
So
that mean?
where are we in our weekend analogy?
We're getting into
summer?
like we're after dinner on Saturday night. After supper on Saturday night.
After supper.
I just love these analogies. Aren't they fun?
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's getting into Saturday night. Look out.
Yeah.
Saturday
Hide
night
the
in the summer.
lampshades.
Yep.
Goodness.
Yeah. And another sticky one today.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And that thunderstorm yesterday afternoon.
Okay, how much rain came down yesterday?
That was just teamed, and the wind picked up yesterday, and as it went through, it was like, wow, what's going on here?
Oh, wow.
So yeah, the tornado watches, we had thunderstorm warnings, and it went through, and it was a heavy downpour. There was some tree damage around the area because of lightning strikes and very strong winds. So what we're looking at today is about the same scenario, only mainly cloudy today with chance of a shower thunderstorm as the day progresses. But the heat warning continues. 29 today, humidex about 37, and it's sticky already here this morning. We're 21 with a humidex of 28. So yeah, it's July, all right, and we'll enjoy a July temperature today. Talk about it coming up. Let's have a quick check on traffic. Look how hazy it is right now. There's some fog patches. Be careful. 403 Waterdown Road. Looks good right now, so no problems there. A couple of MTO traffic cameras, see if there's anything happening in Stony Creek. No, Millen Road looks good. Nothing to see right there. Top of the Skyway Bridge, that looks pretty good at the moment. We'll flip ahead to Appleby Line, all doing fine. So no problems on the roads right now. We'll look at weather and traffic as usual coming up in just a few minutes. Right now, the news.
Okay, thanks very much, Brian. Well, reaction continues to pour in from around the world following the assassination attempt on former U.S. President Donald Trump at a campaign rally on Saturday in Pennsylvania. Simone Gavros joins us now in studio with more.
Hi, good morning. Well, this morning we know that Trump arrived in Milwaukee last night ahead of the four-day Republican National Convention just days after the shooting. And President Joe Biden addressed the nation from the White House yesterday, calling on all Americans to lower the temperature when it comes to the country's politics.
A former president was shot, an American citizen killed, while simply exercising his freedom to support the candidate of his choosing. We cannot, we must not go down this road in America. We've traveled it before throughout our history. Violence has never been the answer.
I want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Now, this is the moment that shots rang out on Saturday in Pennsylvania. You can hear people screaming in the background while Secret Service yells for people to get down. Now, the shooting pierced the former president's ear while killing one person in attendance and injuring two others. Now, we know that FBI have identified the shooter as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. He died at the hands of U.S. law enforcement during the attempted assassination. Now, investigators believe he acted alone. Biden said yesterday that he's ordered an independent security review of the events leading up to the shooting. And meantime, here in Canada, Federal Public Safety Minister Dominic LeBlanc says that the country's security apparatus is, quote, exercising increased vigilance. Now, as mentioned, the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee is still on starting today with thousands in attendance. And the U.S. Secret Service says that they are confident with their current safety plans in place. Tim, I'll send things back to you.
All right, thanks. Well, let's stay with this, though, because Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has spoken to Donald Trump in the wake of the assassination attempts at that rally on Saturday. The Prime Minister's office says he spoke with Trump on Sunday afternoon, offering him well wishes for a speedy recovery while also denouncing the political violence. Trudeau's office says the Prime Minister offered condolences to the shooting victims and to the family of the attendee who died.
Federal Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre condemned Trump's shooting, posting on X, quote, "I am relieved he is safe. My prayers are with other innocent people harmed or killed by this heinous act." He then added, quote, "I am also happy that the suspected shooter is dead. Democracy must prevail."
Well, a cyclist is in hospital after being struck by a vehicle early this morning in Stony Creek. Hamilton police say the incident had happened on Upper Centennial Parkway and Green Mountain Road. About 1 o'clock this morning, police told us here at CHCH News a silver Chrysler 300 was driving southbound on Upper Centennial Parkway when it collided with the cyclist. A 34-year-old male cyclist was taken to hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. Police noted that he did suffer a laceration to his forehead, a swollen face, and some minor cuts on both legs. The driver remained on scene and cooperated with police.
An educational assistant in Welland has now been charged with sexual assault. Niagara police started an investigation last month into allegations that a 48-year-old EA at St. Mary's Catholic School had been in a 3-month relationship with a former male student who is 14. Tracy Coleman of Port Colborne has been charged with sexual assault and sexual interference.
14-year-old girl from Brant County is missing. OPP say Jamie was last seen around 3:30 on Saturday morning, leaving on a burnt orange-colored bike. Now, police have not released the girl's last name. Jamie is about 5'8", with an average build and long blonde hair. She was wearing black jeans and a long-sleeve gray shirt.
An Oakville man has been charged in Guelph after being arrested in a hotel room with a 12-year-old girl. Police say the 29-year-old, whose name has not been released, had met with the girl 4 previous times. After they started chatting online in early June, he's been charged with luring a child and 5 counts each of sexual assault, sexual interference, and invitation to sexual touching. Well, York Regional Police are looking for information after a man was kidnapped in Vaughan over the weekend. Police say 2 men assaulted 57-year-old Roberto Marchioni and forced him into a gray 2020 Honda CR-V. It happened very early yesterday morning as he was leaving work. Marchioni was found near the 401 with minor injuries. Police believe one of the suspects was also driving a black Dodge Ram pickup. Police say they haven't yet been able to identify the suspects and they're looking for more information. Well, the LCBO has decided not to open 32 stores during the strike by thousands of its employees. The Liquor Control Board had planned to open the stores 3 days a week with limited hours if the strike continued past 2 weeks. It's now reallocating staff to better support bars, restaurants, and other businesses. LCBO workers walked off the job July 5th after negotiations broke down. The union says it's fighting for the future of the LCBO and Ontario, and it's upset with Premier Doug Ford's plans to open up Ontario's alcohol market.
Okay, let's get into sports and plenty of soccer to wet whistle this morning as the summer of soccer continued last night at Tim Hortons Field with Canada's men's national coach Jesse March in the house after his squad had an impressive run at Copa America. And I think he'd be impressed with Forge's effort over Pacific FC.
Jensen going to try and drop it in to the near post. Lamont, it's a scramble. Poku, this one will stand. Kwesi's got a brace. Kwesi's on absolute flames.
Yeah, after falling behind in the first half, the Hammers' Kwasi Paku would score his 5th goal of the season to tie it, and then that's the winner right there, the 85th minute, to give the host the 2-1 win and an impressive run at home. They now have 5 wins in 7 matches to move up to 3rd in the CPL standings, jumping over Pacific. Next up is a date with Cavalry on Sunday. So to the Copa America final from Miami, where the match had to be delayed by 90 minutes because ticketless fans breached the gates and made their way into the stadium. Videos all over social media showed supporters for Colombia and Argentina who were meeting in the final made their way past security and into the stadium, some even crawling through ductwork to get into the Hard Rock Stadium that was sold out with fans paying upwards of $1,000 a ticket. The match eventually was played with aisles still filled with fans without tickets. And in the end, the match was played, and it would be Argentina beating Colombia on a goal in extra time that would lift the World Cup champs to another Copa win, their 16th in their history and second in a row. In his final Copa tournament, captain Lionel Messi would have to leave the match early, actually, with a sprained ankle, but would celebrate the win with his team. Canada finished fourth after a heartbreaking loss to Uruguay on penalties on Saturday nights. Then you had that other massive soccer event, the Euros, who were more heartbreak for England as Spain would win their fourth Euro Cup, the most ever, thanks to a goal in the 86th minute that would break a 1-1 tie and crown them champions of Europe. Spain won all 7 games they played in Germany, capping one of the most dominant international performances ever. England's drought continues, losing a second straight Euro Cup and continuing their drought of not winning a major trophy since 1966.
Fly ball deep right field. It is way back. It is gone.
Blue Jays' Kevin Kiermaier, after being placed on waivers and not being claimed, had the big swat in Arizona as Toronto wrapped up the first half of the season. They made it 7-0 thanks to that grand slam right there, but they would allow the D-backs to come all the way back to tie it. But the Jays' only All-Star, Vladdy Jr., hit the go-ahead homer in the 7th. They would beat Arizona 8-7, and we head into the All-Star break. Not a good first half, sitting 8 games below 500, last in the AL East. Lots of changes are coming leading up to the trade deadline later this month. Week six of the, let me try that again. Week 6. Hey, there we go. Of the CFL season, it wrapped with a thrilling end in Edmonton as Lewis Ward booted a 38-yard field goal with no time left to keep the Elks winless. After the heartbreaking 37-34 loss to Ottawa, the Red Blacks, they moved to 3-2, while Edmonton joins the Ticats at 0-5, but have lost on average by only 4 points in each of these games. Hamilton, they host the Argos on Saturday. We finish with Wimbledon, where the country of Spain's banner day continued as Carlos Alcaraz captured his 4th Grand Slam title at the age of 21. He defeated 37-year-old Novak Djokovic for the 2nd year in a row at the All England Club, winning in straight sets. This follows Alcaraz winning the French Open. He is now 4-0 in major finals.
Good morning. 12 minutes after 6 o'clock. It's Monday, the 15th of July, halfway through the month here, and we've got no problems on the roads at the moment. Things are looking good. 403 Waterdown Road. Not a lot of sunshine in your eyes this morning. It's very hazy at the moment. We'll talk about that coming up. So no problems there. Let's go to some MTO traffic cameras and see if there's anything going on in St. Catharines. Well, you've got this closure on the left lane there, as you can see, but there's no volume here, so it doesn't really cause a problem. Millen Road, Stony Creek still looks good. 403 Junction around Brand Street, nothing there. Same with Appleby Line, and then we'll flip ahead to Mississauga Road. Nothing to see this morning as far as traffic is concerned. Just take it carefully as usual. Yes, we do have some fog patches around this morning. That humidity, look at that, 100%. The winds are light. The temperature is warm. 20 degrees at the moment. It feels like 28 already outside today. And that heat warning, of course, as I mentioned right off the top, continues. So Hamilton, Halton, Niagara, even Toronto, parts towards the east, highs 29 to 30, humidex values 35 to 40 with the warm overnight lows, and that's one of the reasons you don't get any relief when it stays so warm overnight. Watching thunderstorms, that's what's coming later on this afternoon, even a little bit overnight tonight, into the day tomorrow. We could get this instability with the humidity in the atmosphere. What we have is a frontal boundary to the north and a low pressure system to the north, giving us that instability in the atmosphere. And we're going to see, well, hopefully they won't be quite as strong as they were yesterday. Showers, possible thunderstorms today. So temperatures today, generally 29 degrees. You factor in the humidity, it's going to feel like 37. So another sticky one today, 28 Guelph and Kitchener. Tonight, temperature stays warm, even warmer than, well, what it is right now, 21, 22 degrees, humidex values in the high 20s with chance of thunderstorms. And then tomorrow, again, 29, and there's that instability in the atmosphere again. Not a lot of sunshine tomorrow. Humidex value about 36 for the day tomorrow. So stepping out the door, middle of July now, we're looking at hazy sunshine, light winds, temperature is 20, but it feels like 28 already. And we'll look long range coming up. Annette, Tim.
All right. Let's see what's coming up in the shorter range with Louis Butko in for Emily this week, who's on vacation.
Yeah,
Hey, Lou.
yeah. Good morning, guys. Some sad news out of the world of Hollywood this past weekend. They say celebrities die in 3. Well, we had Dr. Ruth, we had Richard Simmons, and we had Shannon Doherty pass away, of course, of Beverly Hills 90210. So we'll look back on her career a little bit. The Daily Show, the satirical news program, they're changing their plans. They were supposed to be broadcasting the RNC this week, but this past weekend's events are changing that. And then coming up at the 8 o'clock hour, I have an interview with Ann Purvu. She's got a brand new show coming to Hollywood Suite. So looking forward to that coming up a little bit later. That's in the 8 o'clock hour.
All right, buddy. We'll see you in the couch.
Sounds good.
I was going to say, that's a lot going on.
It's very ambitious.
Lots happening, yeah.
It's a Monday, you know, right?
Okay. Thanks very much. Coming up in business news, Bank of Canada is set to release 2 important reports on our economy. 6:17 on your Monday morning. In overseas trading, the Canadian dollar is down 5 basis points at 73.33 cents U.S. Gold is down $5. Crude oil is up 16 cents to $82.37 U.S. a barrel. Midday trading in Europe, markets are down in London, Frankfurt, and Paris.
Let's check in on Asia. Japanese markets were closed due to a holiday, while Hong Kong saw declines and Shanghai experienced some slight gains. North American markets last week finished with some nice gains, triple-digit gains right across the board on Bay Street and Wall Street. Let's see how they do when the markets open on this Monday, July 15th.
Bank of Canada about to release a double snapshot of the country's economy. The bank's Business Outlook Survey and Canadian Survey of Consumer Expectations will both be out later this morning. They come ahead of the Bank of Canada's next interest rate announcement and monetary policy report. That's coming out July 24th. The central bank cut its trend-setting interest rate by 0.25% last month to 4.75%.
AT&T says data for nearly all of its customers was downloaded to a third-party platform in a security breach. So the company says the compromised data includes tens of millions of customers' phone numbers. This is according to reports. This data breach also includes calls made to Canada. However, AT&T says that customers' personal information and the contents of their calls or texts, those were not exposed. The mobile giant reports that it has closed the illegal access points that allowed the breach to happen. They are also working with law enforcement to find those responsible, with at least one person under arrest. The FBI says AT&T learned about the breach in April but delayed disclosing it publicly due to potential national security and public safety risks. AT&T has more than 100 million customers in the U.S. and almost 2.5 business accounts.
The parent company of Google, Alphabet, is now in talks to buy cybersecurity startup Wiz at $23 billion. It would be Alphabet's biggest purchase yet. Wiz is one of the fastest growing companies in cybersecurity. It uses AI to find and stop online threats quickly. Wiz made around $350 million last year, and it works with about 40% of Fortune 100 companies.
So Meta says it is lifting restrictions placed on former President Donald Trump's Facebook and Instagram accounts. Now, the announcement was made on Friday. This is before the incidents on Saturday afternoon. The social media company says it was making the change to ensure that Trump and President Biden would be on equal footing ahead of the November election. Trump's accounts were originally suspended following the January 6th attack on the Capitol and were reinstated last year. Meta announced at the time it was placing additional guardrails on the accounts that would have resulted in them being suspended again if he did break the rules. But the company says those penalties have not had to be deployed.
The European Union says those blue check marks from X are deceptive and that the online platform falls short on transparency and accountability requirements. These are the first charges against a tech company under the EU's new social media regulations. The European Commission outlined the preliminary findings from its investigation, with regulators saying the blue check marks constitute dark patterns not in line with industry best practice. The investigation was carried out under the EU's Digital Services Act, which is a sweeping set of regulations requiring platforms to take more responsibility for protecting users and cleaning up their sites.
Okay, there's a few business stories to start off your Monday. What do we got from the weather? Well, Brian is back, and he's going to have a look at your 7-day forecast. Ooh, it's a warm one to start off.
All right, Monday morning again, 6:24 is the time. Looking at traffic, we've got nothing really to show you. Conditions are fine this morning. There's not been a lot of precipitation overnight. QEW 406 looks good. Top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge is getting a little bit busier, but only just a bit. If we flip ahead to east of Appleby Line this time, still doing fine through Burlington into Oakville at the Ford plant and Mississauga at Etobicoke Creek. Nothing to see this morning on the roads. Sunshine you can see a little bit of this morning, but it's fairly hazy sunshine at the moment. But look at the temperatures: 20 in Hamilton, humidex of 28, 21 Grimsby, 22 Mississauga, and for Toronto. When we talk about seasonal temperatures for this time of year, 15 for the overnight low. So that's another reason why we have the heat warning, because you don't get that coolness overnight to give you some relief. 26 for the daytime high. We beat that yesterday. We'll beat it again today. Those are our sun times and our records for today. A bit of sunshine is possible on and off throughout the day, but there's that chance of a shower thunderstorm later on. 29 today, feeling like 37. Pretty much the same as we had yesterday. 22 overnight tonight, so a warm night. Tomorrow again 29, humidex of 36, and that instability stays again tomorrow. Chance of a shower, only a slim chance, but notice how the temperature comes down. The heat breaks. 24 on Wednesday, 22 on Thursday, so below seasonal. And then 24 for, look at the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, Friday, lots of sunshine, temperatures in the mid-20s. Looks good. That's your forecast. Annette, Tim.
Oh, our favorite pastime, looking at the weekend on a Monday.
On a Monday morning?
That's the best. Thanks, buddy. Okay, let's get to this before we get to the bottom of the clock. A 6-month-old baby from Florida is capturing hearts online as she communicates with her deaf grandparents using sign language.
Her name is Jane, and she's created a special bond with Grandpa and Grandma before she can even talk. Jane's mom says when her daughter was about 4.5 months old, she started moving her hands and babbling to her grandparents. Mom captured the moment on her phone. The video has had nearly 10 million views on TikTok. Oh, that's cute.
So what is she saying is the question.
So many babies, though, learn sign language before they can speak.
Yeah, like there's a
whole program for it.
There's different, like when you're hungry or you're eating, like you're using different things. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Good. Hope you're having a good start to your day. Off and at it on a new week. We'll be back right after this with a look at what you can expect for the upcoming week.